So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is by Phantom of the Opera coffee mug. I've shown it on here before. I've actually gone through all my coffee mugs. You've seen everything, so everything you're going to see is a repeat. Don't remember where this came from, but it is a really neat coffee mug, I think. Anyway, today's tea is my Stash Chocolate Mint Oolong. I have a double bagging in this little itty bitty mug. This mug is probably, well, it might be 8 ounces, 7 to 8 ounces. But the Stash tea, as I've mentioned before, it tends to need to be double bagged when I'm using it. I like a strong tea. However, there is no milk in it, and I tend to use the milk, especially with the chocolate teas, to bring out that more chocolatey flavor. Well, that too. Bring out that, hello. This has become his favorite place to sleep. Shadow. Kitty, kitty, kitty. He's going to ignore me. Anyway. Oh, are you going to turn around and say hello? Hi. Hi, pretty boy. Yeah, hello. Anyway, I tend to add milk to help bring out the more chocolate flavor. It gives it more of a kind of almost a milk chocolate to it, depending on the chocolate. You know, like the white mocha chocolate is a little different than the hazelnut, and then that's different from this one. And also the chocolate orange is just a touch different. But the milk seems to make it taste more like chocolate to me, and it tends to balance out or reduce any bitterness that might be in there. So this is going to be an interesting one to have. A lot of the mint teas have a touch of bitterness in them, so this will be interesting to have without the milk. So let's give this a taste. Yeah, this is a lot more bitter without the milk. It needs a little more time to steep. I'm getting the mint mostly right now with a touch of that bitterness in it, or just before the mint actually hits really well. I'm only getting a little bit of the chocolate flavor. So hopefully by the end of this video, won't be that long, hopefully by the end of this video, we will have more of the chocolate flavor, which is one of the reasons why you have a chocolate tea. You want to have that chocolate flavor, right? Anyway, so today I am reviewing the last non-subscription box I got from CurlBox. As I said in the story, I was actually trying to get a different subscription box, but their website had so many issues I couldn't get the one that I wanted the most, and I ended up getting this one. This one was okay. There's nothing being opened at the end of this. It's just the products from this box, which featured the Suave Professionals with natural shea butter and pure coconut oil. 3 products from that. We got a Tresemme hairspray, and we got a Beauty and Planet hair oil. So let's talk about these a little bit. So this one is the shampoo. It is a clear shampoo. As you can see, I haven't used much. I'm actually washing with shampoo a lot less. I'm actually considering giving this to my daughter, not because it's a bad shampoo or anything, but because I have so much shampoo. I am not going to need shampoo for years. And when I do buy shampoo, I have specific ones I'll be looking for. So I'm just... seriously, I've got a Reshma that's about this big. I've got the OGX. I've got my Shea Moisture. I've got a Diva Curl. I've got enough shampoo to last me a very long time. So, may not keep using this one. Just because there's so much. But anyway, this is a low lather type shampoo. It does give me some lather, but it's more like, you know how some really suds up, and when you look at your hand, you can see a lot of suds. This is more like a thin layer of suds on your hand when you look at it. The scent on these, when I'm using them, it seems like it would be very strong when you smell it out of the bottle like this. And I can't, getting a little bit of coconut and something that's along the floral a bit on the floral side with it. So, and y'all know I don't like coconut scents and all that stuff. But anyway, the scent is not that strong when you actually use it in your hair. Of course, I use very small amounts, which is another reason why my shampoo is going to last forever. I have finally learned not to just go plop, plop, plop. I just do a little bit. Seriously, just a small amount of shampoo when I'm using it. It rinsed out well. It left very few tangles. My hair had a really nice slip, but my ends felt very slightly dry. It is not a bad shampoo. It doesn't have any of the things that I normally worry about, although the fragrance is kind of high up. My biggest complaint about the whole line at this point, which I'll get into later, is that the shea butter and the coconut is really low on the ingredient list. Technically, it is with natural shea butter and pure coconut oil. Technically, it's in there, so it is with them. But it's just low on the list, so we'll talk about that later. It's an okay shampoo. It's the price, as I recall, isn't that great. So if you're looking for something on the inexpensive end, this will do ya, I think. My hair did not, the only place that felt any bit of dryness was my ends. It was very slight, and there was no tangling, great slip. And my hair, with the end thing, my hair is just sensitive. It doesn't take much for my ends to go, ooh, ouch. So the conditioner disappointed me in that it has dimethicone in it. It is a thick conditioner, very, very thick. So it's a very thick conditioner. It has no move to it at all. Most conditioners I use have some kind of, looseness to them so that they will slide when you do that. This one does not. It rubs out and goes into your hair very easily. So it's one of those that kind of melts into your hand and then melts into your hair. It has a decent slip, but I would be much happier if it did not have the dimethicone in it. If my hair is one of those that does not have a huge issue with dimethicone. However, since dimethicone causes buildup, eventually it would start causing issues, I think. It's just my hair doesn't immediately have a bad reaction to dimethicone, and I have been trying to reduce the amount of dimethicone in my hair care and skincare products just because of the barrier it creates. But other than that, I mean, from what I've heard, a lot of people have really, really enjoyed this particular conditioner. If you don't have a problem with silicones and dimethicone in particular, because some of the other silicones don't bother me. I don't mind like the PEG 13 and those kind of dimethicones because they get washed out. So if you don't mind any of those, it's a really decent conditioner. It does mix well with things like my Oars olive oil, which I prefer to mix it with, if only because of the coconut smell. Again, with these, that smell is not very strong when you put it in your hair, but I love the scent of the Oars olive oil moisturizing conditioner. So it works really well with that, and that lemon scent will override any of the coconut scent, which I appreciate a lot. Again, I'll keep using it for, I'm going to try to get rid of it. I'm trying to actually use most of the stuff from this box. It was only $15 total, but still, I'd like to use at least some of it. Otherwise, this too would go to my daughter. But yeah, it's a decent conditioner. I just am not happy with the dimethicone. And like I said, we'll talk about the shea butter and stuff later. So the third thing they included from this line is their curl defining cream. Again, this has dimethicone in it. And this one I can't give away because my daughter doesn't do anything to curl her hair. But it surprised me. It reminds me of a really thick milk. Not as thick as, say, the Shea Moisture. The Shea Moisture milk is really thick. I have to literally, as you can see, it's thick. And I have used quite a bit of it. I have to encourage it to come down, but it's thick. Anyway. So as you can see, it's a very thick. It does have a little bit of slide to it. You can see it's starting to slide down a little bit there. But it does remind me of a thick milk. It rubs out kind of that way. This one has the strongest of the coconut scent. I will tell you that. It's one of the, I've used it quite a bit, but it's not one of my favorite products, I'll be honest with you. Mostly because of the smell and the dimethicone. Because it actually gives fairly decent results for all that. My hair clumped together a lot better, so I got better clumps with it, and it held up through the remaining products that I added and being combed. And I think it helped with my final curl without adding to the frizz, which is something I also look for. I have products that add to the frizz, and I won't keep using those. I've got frizzy hair without help, without anything helping that happen. So, and my hair is moisturized and healthy and all that stuff. It just does that. It just does that. It does that thing. So I don't need anything to add to the frizz. So I was happy with that, but the smell is very strong. And like I said, the dimethicone is really disappointing, but I do think it is a good curl definer. And I think I'm going to eventually use it up. It might take me a while because of the smell. And I do have other things that I prefer. And I'm saying smell. To me, it's a scent. And like I said, it's the coconut in there that's a problem for me. So let's talk about the shea butter and the coconut oil. So on this one, the curl defining cream, the shea butter is the fifth one from the end, and the coconut oil is probably the sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the eighth from the beginning. So they're smack dab in the middle in this one. The dimethicone comes first. On the conditioner, again, the dimethicone comes first, and the shea butter is a fifth from the end, and the coconut oil is the 10th from the beginning. In fact, the fragrance comes before it in this one. The fragrance is just before it in the curl defining cream. And on this one, the coconut oil is the fourth one from the end, and the shea butter is the sixth one from the end. So none of these have, you know, I would consider it to be better if the coconut oil and the shea butter were at least in the top 10 ingredients, preferably in this top 5 to 7 ingredients. Technically, yes, they do have shea butter and coconut oil in them. However, to advertise them like this implies that there's more shea butter and coconut oil than is actually in here. The rest of this is other kind of stuff. Something betaine, sodium methyl cocoyl taurate, sodium chloride. Fragrance comes before the coconut oil and the shea butter in all of them. Citric acid, sodium benzoate, dimethylamine. Anyway, so they all have these other ingredients in them that strike me as not being as useful to your hair as the shea butter and the coconut oil. So if you're going to advertise on the bottle that it has shea butter and coconut oil, I honestly would sit there and go, oh, okay, it's probably higher up in the ingredients list. And no, they're towards the middle or towards the end. And while it's a technicality, to me, that is misleading. And I would personally be happy if they didn't have any dimethicone. If the fragrance was closer to the end, you know, one of the last 3 or 4 ingredients. On a lot of my other ones, it's usually way towards the end. And that these were, you know, above middle, you know, in the first 5, 6, or 7 ingredients. I would much prefer that. Otherwise, I think this is kind of misleading advertising. Yeah, it's in there, but it's not a lot. And I'm not sure it's helping these products actually do anything. These are supposed to add moisture to your hair. So I guess they're adding a little bit of moisture, but the other stuff is doing more. And when you have dimethicone ahead of that, you got to wonder if the dimethicone is going to form that barrier and keep those small amounts from even getting into your hair. Like I said, they gave me great slip, but anything with dimethicone will do that. That's one of the things that dimethicone does. It gives you slip. It gives you that barrier, but it also gives you that slip. So that's probably one of the reasons why they have it in there. So it has great slip. But I would not repurchase these just because of the placement of the ingredients that they are advertising on the label and the fact that fragrance and dimethicone comes in before either one of them. So they work. They are not favorites. I'm going to try to work through them. I'm probably going to give the shampoo away, like I said, which is kind of sad because it's the only one without dimethicone. But like I said, I have a lot of shampoos. And so to me, this is just, I don't know, it's false advertising. Like I said, I wouldn't buy them again. They work just fine, but I wouldn't buy them again. I just wouldn't. All right, so there were two other things in the box. The first was this Love Beauty and Planet. They have a heart up there. It's supposed to be Love Beauty and Planet Rose and Almond Oil. It's a natural oils infusion, which actually explains a lot to me. This initially didn't do much. It didn't reduce frizz, and putting it seemed to increase it some, not a lot. And it didn't increase the shine or the curl. Now this says, this caring oil blend mixes indulgence and care, It's basically to tame flyaways or frizz and quench dry ends, keep it shiny, and keep it glossy. So it's saying it's supposed to help get rid of frizz. It's saying it's supposed to help keep your hair shiny and glossy and tame flyaways and all that stuff. I didn't see it do that. I did apply a little bit more after my hair settled a bit, and it seemed to need more time for things to soak in. And it did reduce some of the frizz at that point from the hairspray, which I'll talk about in a minute. But it doesn't help increase curl or anything of that nature. So to me, this is an oil to use as indicated, to take care of the problems it says it's supposed to help with. I'd have to use a lot more of it than I'd like to. I already put quite a bit of stuff in my hair. The biggest issue with my hair is it takes quite a bit of time for things to soak in. My hair actually had a bit more floof earlier in the day, but as everything soaks in and the hair gets what it needs, a lot of my volume tends to disappear. So it's disappeared through the video. So if you look at the beginning of the video and you look at now, my hair is a little flatter. I swear to God it is. And it's just that my hair doesn't hold volume very well, which is something I'm learning to get used to. But for this, I feel like I would have to put so much in that it would end up weighing down my hair if I was to use it to get rid of frizz. However, that doesn't mean it doesn't have a use. What I do use it for is to help get rid of crunch. I do use gel. I try not to use a lot of gel, because my hair gets tangled in my earrings. Anyway, I do use gel. I try not to use a lot of gel, but I do use gel in combination with a couple of curl creams. And those do seem to give my hair a bit of crunch when combined. Or if you use a lot of gel, it's going to give your hair a bit of crunch. I don't like that. I don't like a stiff cast. I like my hair to be soft and touchable. Granted, you're not supposed to be doing what I'm doing with it, but I like it to be like that. So I can use this to get rid of some of that crunch. I do like the fact that it has the pump, that the pump doesn't give me, well, don't like that it spits occasionally, but it doesn't give me a lot of oil in a single pump. And it does smooth out nicely, and it does seem to stick to my hair really well so that I don't end up with oily hands. But overall, I find that this is an oil that I don't reach for often, precisely because it doesn't do what I really need it to do, and it takes time to actually soak into my hair. So it's going to be around a while. I do like the scent. The rose isn't very strong, so it's not like I'm feeling like I'm surrounded by rose flowers, which is nice. I like roses. I like a subtle scent with that. But yeah, it's okay. It's not fantastic. I have other oils I love more. I would not repurchase this. I will probably use it up. I don't think my daughter uses, take that back, she does use oils, but this is mostly just to remove my crunch kind of thing. It doesn't really do much more for me. So the hairspray. This is the Tresemme Compressed Micro Mist Invisible Hold Natural Finish Curl Hold Level 2 for 2A to 3C curls, which is what I have. It says it has the same number of sprays as an 11 ounce. It's 5.5 ounces. It's hairspray reinvented. It stinks. It smells really bad. When I use hairspray, I use it underneath my hair to try to help with volume. Again, it doesn't stay, but it does seem to add a little bit when I do it that way. If I choose to do it that way. Personally, not much of a hairspray fan. But anyway, not only did this not help with that, but it seemed to dry out my hair, a reason I'm not fond of hairsprays in general. I have been using the Cantu Shea Butter Natural Hair Style Stay Frizz-Free Finisher. I do actually, I should say I'm okay with this one. It doesn't seem to dry out my hair, probably because it has the shea butter in it. But, and the smell on it is not as bad as on this. So I don't mind using this upon occasion, but every time I've used this, I've been unhappy. So I've been unhappy because my hair has felt drier. The volume is, there's not much of it, and it doesn't stay. I might as well not use it at all for how quickly the volume disappears. It adds to my frizz because it dries out my ends and all that stuff. And like I said, I'm really, really, really not a fan of the smell. This will go to my daughter. I suspect she doesn't mind using hairsprays. And yeah, I'm not going to keep this. Not impressed or happy with this at all. Just, I've used it 3 or 4 times and it's just been the same every time. It doesn't do much for holding anything for me, and it doesn't give me any volume, and it stinks, and it dries my hair out, and yeah, I just don't like this at all. Can you tell? Don't like it. All right, so overall, this box was okay. Was it worth $15? Yeah. I mean, just the 3 that I have were probably 18 to 20, the actual Suave things. This was only about $3, so the whole thing probably came up to $20, $23, somewhere in there. I'd have to go look and see what the value was when I uploaded the unboxing. In the end, I'll probably end up keeping about $15 of it and using it somewhere in there. Maybe a little less, because I'm just, the shampoo would be a big chunk of it, you know, around $5 to $6 or so. Would be a big chunk of the amount. But it was okay. Not the box I wanted, not overly happy with it. Really not pleased with how all of this played out for the box that I wanted. And this box just, it really did feel like a consolation prize. You know, hey, you missed out, but here's something. We'll try to make up for it. It's not nearly as good. And I don't mean to slam CurlBox for that. CurlBox I've been very, very happy with. I'm going to miss it. I already know when people start opening up their stuff for April, I'm going to be like, I should have stayed. But I know I needed to get out for a while. I need to clear out some of the products. My focus is to clear out some of the products that I have right now. And then maybe I'll get back on and try some new things once I've got some of this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot. But that said, this box was, it's not the worst disappointment I've had from CurlBox. I mean, I had an entire Palmer's box. It just, only one product in that box even worked on my hair. The rest of it dried it out like nothing else. So It's not the worst box that I've had, but at the same time, it's a bit of a disappointing box. So if you're looking for something inexpensive, it'll work. Honestly, I'm sure these will work. Yeah, not impressed, not overly happy with this particular box. Hopefully the next non-subscription box I pick up or attempt to pick up, I will be able to pick up and I'll be happier with. Anyway, that's it for today, and I hope you like what you've seen. And if you have liked what you've seen and you've not subscribed yet, I hope you will subscribe. If you do subscribe, please hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. Currently upload 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And we have bonus videos. In fact, what is today? This is April? We should get at least one extra bonus video from my son this month. And I know some of you really love seeing him open those loot crates up. So that should be coming in towards the end of the month as well. And of course, as you can see, all my lovely friends are out getting some warmth and what little sunshine we have today. So those will be increasing through the month. Of course, if you're not interested in plants, you may not want the notification bell since you know when I upload now. If you are part of my notification squad, you'll want to check your subscription and your bell to make sure that they are both still active. If you choose not to subscribe, well, we would be disappointed. However, you're always welcome back here. And if you do come back here, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Now, let's hope that that chocolate has increased enough to kind of mellow out the mint and that there's no bitterness. Not trusting for that, but crossing my fingers. Let's give it a taste. No. In fact, the bitterness got stronger. The mint is really strong towards the end, and I think the chocolate really needs, I have enough sugar in here, but that chocolate just really needs that milk to really give it that sweeter chocolate flavor rather than the bitter chocolate flavor, if you know what I mean. Because if you have dark chocolate is very bitter. This does not taste like dark chocolate. However, it is bitter like dark chocolate, if you get my drift. Not a bad tea, but one I definitely need to drink with milk. Yes. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day.